Hello and welcome to the TSK show where we listen, learn and grow. The Teen Should Know show is where teenagers are empowered with the right knowledge to thrive and parents are equipped with the tools to guide them because when teenagers know better, they do better. My name is Ifoma the Prof Mwato and I'm your host on the TSK show. So today we are tackling a very important conversation, raising the African girl beyond marriage, but towards confidence and purpose. For too long, society has focused on preparing girls mainly for marriage, but what about her confidence, her emotional intelligence, her growth as a person with dreams and purpose? So to help us unpack this, I have with me a special teenager as a guest who will be sharing her perspective on why the African girl must be raised to thrive, not just to marry. This is going to be honest, it's going to be bold, it's going to be inspiring, so stay with us. We'll go on a short break, don't go anywhere. Practice. Yes, welcome back to the TSK show. Before the break, I introduced our episode topic for today, which is raising the African girl child beyond marriage. So on the show today is a beautiful, bold, and intelligent young girl. She's a medical student and she's a financial instructor. She's also a public speaker. Her name is Angel Ronnie. And she is in the studio with me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to the TSK show.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. So today we are looking at this honest and refreshing conversation, and we want to know why the African girl child is being raised and prepared for marriage. I had a friend that has an uncle. And we nicknamed that uncle Makadiga Anoge. Because everything you do, he will tell you, be careful, Makadiga Anoge. So when I finished I completed my secondary school, I went to visit an auntie in Port Harcourt, and every day she would say, because of mother-in-law. And I didn't get it. So I discovered that why she was always saying, because of mother-in-law is, she would say, let your mother-in-law not say I did not train you well.
Yeah.
So everything was focusing on mother-in-law.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, is it right for our African parents to raise the girl child just for marriage?
Well, that's an amazing question. And I'm so happy that we're finally dealing with this topic because I think that this is something that is not addressed enough. And the answer to that question is no. It is not right for society to just raise girls with only marriage in mind. I would say that I am a firm believer that every single person who is here on planet Earth has been created for a reason. And so girls inclusive, right? Everyone has a purpose, a reason why they've been created. And so if we make teenage girls or if we make girls focused on just marriage alone, it limits how they see themselves. It limits how they see their future. It limits the things that they think they are capable of doing. And so raising girls with just marriage in mind does more harm than good. And so the answer to that question is no. I do not believe that it is right to just raise girls with marriage in mind.
Oh, wow. So if you could rewrite this narrative of raising the girl child for marriage, what would that be?
I would say that, first of all, it's important for them to understand that they have a purpose, right? They've been created for something more. You know, usually when they say to you something like, everyone's telling the girl child sit down properly, right? Close your legs. If you're telling her close your legs, they'll say something about her husband. If you cook food and your food is too salty, they'll say, is this the type of food you cook for your husband? Right? If you wear a dress and it's too short, they'll say, which man will marry you? So everything is relating back to marriage. So what I can say is that if I was to rewrite this narrative, I want them to know that they have something on their inside, right? That the world is waiting for. So you're not just made to be a wife. You're not just made to be a mother. You're also made for something more. Why is no one telling her, close your legs and sit properly? What if you sit amongst presidents tomorrow? Why is no one telling her, don't dress like that? What if you sit amongst, governors tomorrow?
So or if you are the governor yourself.
Exactly. So these are the things that we need to begin to look into. And so that society can help the girl child to grow better and toward her purpose as well.
Oh, this is the beginning of this conversation is getting so much interesting. So we'll just take a short break now and we'll be right back.
We are local.
International communities observing
Why the main market is in chaos. People are
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye.
We have taken the bill by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder. So,
Okay, I don't know that one.
outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hubs on e-vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back, and it's been a powerful conversation with my guest, a very young, bold teenage girl on the show today. And we are talking about raising the African girl child beyond marriage, but for purpose and confidence. So, Angel, why do you think it's important to build confidence and emotional intelligence?
In a girl child, I think that it is very important to build confidence, and for a lot of reasons, actually. You know, the way Nigeria is and the way society is, women have been looked down on so much, and women are not really given certain opportunities. So I was speaking to a friend the other day, and I was saying something about how you can have a male and you can have a female, and both of them can present themselves. They are equally, you know, up to the task. They can both achieve what you're asking for. But then because one is a female, you may not really feel like she can do that much. And so you put her to the side. So society does not give women opportunities, right? And so sometimes women have to create those opportunities for themselves. Yes. That's why you find that sometimes women, you know, go into businesses, they start their own company, they start their own, you know, because they have to create those opportunities that are not given to them. So if you're not confident, how do you want to create an opportunity for yourself? So it's very, very important for women to be confident, because you need that in today's world and today's society to be able to do a lot.
We understand and we know that many young girls struggle with self-esteem.
Yes.
So because of comparisons, cultural expectations, and all of that. So how can a young girl begin to build her confidence?
Okay. That's a very important question. And I feel like this is something that is not tackled enough. And so the one thing that I can say is that the reason why young girls struggle with self-esteem and confidence and all of that is because they hear so much in their surroundings. You know, sometimes people are telling you can't, you're this, you're not this, you know. And so they allow that to get in. Exactly. And so the one thing that young girls can do to build their confidence is consider your voice the most important. So I'm going to ask every young girl who's watching today, right? What if your voice was the only voice that you could hear for the rest of your life to achieve all your dreams, all your goals? What would your voice be saying to you? Would your voice be talking you down, or would your voice be, you know, motivating you? So if you know the kind of voice that you want to hear, the kind of voice that would push you to become a better person, cause yourself to begin to tell yourself those things. So tear down everything that people have said to you, that you're not enough, that you cannot do this, that you cannot do that, and then build yourself up. So tell yourself what you want to hear and don't wait for anyone else's approval. I think that's where it starts from.
Speaking positively to yourself. telling yourself you're enough,
Mm-hmm.
you can, even when society is saying you can.
Exactly.
Okay, so I want us to look at something. These voices we are talking about is sometimes coming from family, culture, even the religious organizations.
True.
Because, you know, when we come to church, sometimes on Sundays, you see, we want to pray for people who want to get married. And they are praying for the women alone.
Yeah.
They're not praying for the men. And even the society, like even on social media, you see when a girl is having an issue or an argument with someone, the first thing the person will say is, go and marry first. So what can society, teachers, parents do better beyond raising the African girl child for marriage?
Okay, so one thing I can say to every parent, every teacher, to every person who is watching, right, and who would be a person who can speak to the girl child and she will listen, I would say that all of these things that they've said to shape the mindset of the girl child, because I believe that the mind of a teenager, the mind of a girl child is like a sponge. So the more you tell her, this thing you're doing this way, what about your husband's house, is rewiring her brain. It's now in her subconscious. So tomorrow if she wants to bend down in a certain way and pick something, she will think of her husband's house. So just naturally, that's how she's going to become. So I'm going to say that the same way they use their words, right, to cause girls to begin to think of marriage, that same way you use your words to begin to cause them to think about their purpose. So just like what we said earlier, that when you're saying, oh my God, this thing you're wearing, what about your husband? Say to her, oh my God, this thing you're wearing, what about your future? What about rooms that you will enter into?
Like that uncle that's always saying Makadiga
Nugi. So it's important to begin to ask these questions, right, and speak to them in that way. Support her also. It's not just about your words, right? Push her to go for events where you know that she'll meet people who will, you know, push her to become a better person.
Give her
and things like this. So it starts from every person. It starts from the parents, the teachers, even those in religious institutions. It starts from them.
Okay. Wow. It's been a wonderful and powerful, eye-opening conversation. Today we've been reminded that raising the African girl is not about limiting her to marriage expectations, but about giving her the tools, the confidence, the emotional intelligence, and opportunities for her to thrive and fulfill her purpose. So we are going to take just one short break and we'll be back and we'll round off for today. Stay tuned.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back, and we've been talking about raising the African girl child not just for marriage but for purpose and confidence. And I have a wonderful guest that has been doing justice to this topic. And we looked at in the last segment of how many girls struggle with self-esteem, and we are going to look at other challenges that the African girl child is facing today. So what are other challenges you think the African girl child is struggling with?
One thing that I can say, for example, is that even with that struggle, even with that low self-esteem, the African girl child these days, you find that they struggle even with seeking validation from other people, from men especially. And I want to say this because I think that that same mindset that they've used to raise us, that, you know, for your husband, is the same thing that pushes girls to now bother. What does a man think
about me?
Because all the while they've been raising me, they've been saying the husband that will marry you. So any man I come across, I'm wondering, what does he think about me? And so that's also a struggle that we face today in society, because our mind has been conditioned to think about what a man would think, what a man would say, what a man's opinion is. And so that's another struggle and another challenge that the African girl child would have in this day and time.
Okay, before we call it a wrap for today, what is your message for that young teenager that is an African girl watching you right now, who maybe her mother or her father is shouting, go and clean up the kitchen because this is not how you're going to keep your home. This is not what you're going to do in your husband's house. Yes. So what is your message for her?
One thing that I can say, and one thing that I will say to you, is you are made for something more than marriage. There is something inside of you that the world is waiting to see. And I want you to know it. I want you to believe it, and I want you to know it. You have a purpose. You were created for something more than just marriage. And so there is nothing that you tell yourself you want to become that you cannot become. So if you tell yourself today that, oh my God, I think I want to own the world's biggest oil and gas company, you can do it as long as you put your mind to it. So focus on building a life for yourself. Focus on discovering your purpose and realize that you were made for something more than marriage. Don't let anybody rush you. Don't let anybody tell you that that's all you're made for. Don't let anybody tell you that, oh, it's just being a wife and a mother that you've been created for. You're made for something more than that. So it's important for you to find your purpose and surround yourself with people who value you and people who uphold you as well.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Angel, for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you for your courage, your boldness, and your confidence, because you are a voice speaking for so many African girls who cannot speak for themselves. And you're also giving them hope. You've given them encouragement, you've given them motivation, and you've inspired them through this conversation today. And this is where we are going to be wrapping up the TSK show for today. So parents at home watching us, I want you to know that your girl child is more, and you that is the girl child, you are more. You can become anything you want to become. You are not being raised just for marriage. You are being raised so that you can walk in purpose, so that you can grow, so that you can shine, and so that you can thrive. My name is Ifoma the Prof, and I'm your host on the TSK show. So remember that you've been empowered with knowledge to thrive. So keep thriving and keep showing up for yourself. See you next time on the TSK show. Thank you for watching.